Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek Suresh Sankhe. I am student of a SAS Institute of Management Studies. Today I am presenting the PPT of a Factories Act 1948. Introduction. In India, the first Factories Act was passed in 1881. This act was basically designed to protect children and not to provide few measures for health and safety of the workers. This law was applicable to only those factories which employ 100 or more workers. In 1891, another Factories Act was passed which exit to the factories employ 50 or more workers. Definition. Factory is defined section 2M of the Act. It means any premises include the premises therefore whereon 10 or more workers are working or were working on any day of the preceding 12 months and in any part of which manufacturing process is being carried on with the deed of a power or is accordingly so carried on or but does not include a mine subject to the operation of the Mines Act 1952 or a mobile unit belongs to the armed forces of the Union, a railway running shed or a hotel, restaurant or a eating place. Whenever 20 or more workers are working or were working on any day of the preceding 12 months and in any part of which a manufacturing process is being carried on without the aid of a worker or ordinarily so carried out. Objective of the Act to ensure adequate safety measure and to promote the health and wealth of the workers employed in a factories to prevent parts growth of a factories through the provision related to the approval of a plans before the certain of a factory to regulate the working condition in a factories, regulate the working hours, leave, holiday, overtime, employment of a children, women and young person exit. The Factories Act provides for the health, safety, welfare, services, conditions and other aspects of a workers in a factories. The Act is enforced by the state government who frame rules that ensure that local conditions are reflected in enforcement. The Act as a in 1987 also regulate the safeguards to the adapt for the use and handling of a hazardous substance. Purpose. A comprehensive law for the person working at a specific domain factories regarded as one of the benevolent, nobly and a comprehensive labor legislation which is forced in our country covers significant issues relating to the person employed in a factories, secures safety, health, welfare, regulate working hour, ensure annual leaves with wages, provides additional protection from hazardous process, additional protection to women workmen, provision of employment of children, applicability of the law. At any place where manufacturing process is carried on with or without the aid of a power or is so ordinarily carried on notwithstanding that the number of persons employed there in a less than 10 if working with the aid of a power and less than 20 if working without the aid of a power or the person working there are not employed by the owner therefore but are working with the permissions of or under agreement with such a owner. The factories has extended to whole of India and is applicable to all factories including government factories. It applies to all factories employing more than 10 people are working with the aid of a worker of a power of a employing 20 people are working without the aid of a power. Factories, however, does not include a mine covered under the Mine Act 1952, a mobile unit of the armed forces, a railway shame, or a hotel, restaurant, or a eating place. Importance of the Act: no adult worker shall be required or allowed to work in a factory for more than 48 hours in any week and or more than 9 hours in any day. Where a worker works in a factory for more than 9 hours in any day or for the more than 48 hours in a week, he shall is respected of overtime work, be entitled to wages at the rate of a twice his ordinary rate of wages. Where a worker is deprived of any of the weekly holidays, he shall be allowed within the month in which the holidays were due to him, or within the 2 months immediately following that month. Compensatory holidays of equal number of the holidays so lost. The period of a works of an adult worker in a factory each day shall be so fixed that no period shall exceed 5 hours, and that no worker shall work for more than 5 hours before he was had an interval for rest of at least half an hour. Detailed provision are also made for the working hours, holidays, leave with the wages and overtime payment, etc. Separate provision are made for employment of a young persons, which include children and adolescents. The employment of a children below 14 years of a wage age was stopped. Employer to ensure health of a workers pretending to cleanness, disposable of a waste and influence section 12. Ventilation and temperature, dust and fumes, section 13. Overcrowding, artificial humidification, lighting, section 14. Drinking water spittoon, section 18. Safety measures, fencing of a machinery, section 21. Work on near machinery in a motion, section 22. Employment prohibition of a young person on dangerous machine, section 23. Striking gear and device for a cutting off power, section 23. Self-acting machine, section 25. Casing of new machinery, section 26. Prohibition of employment of women and children near control opens, section 27. Hoist and lifts, section 28. Welfare measure, washing facilities, section 42. Facilities for storing and drying clothing, section 43. Facilities for sitting, section 44. First aid appliance, one first aid box, not less than one for every 150 workers, section 45. Canteens when there are 250 or more workers, section 46. Shelters, restroom and lunch room when there are 150 or more workers, section 47. Crunches when there are 30 or more women workers, section 48. Welfare office when there are 500 or more workers, section 49. Working hours and overtime of adults. Weekly hour not more than 48, section 51. Daily hour more than 9 hours, section 54. Intervals for rest at least 2 hours on a working for 5 hours, section 55. Spread over not more than 10% hours, section 56. Overplacing shift prohibited, section 58. Extra wages for overtime double than normal rate of a wages, section 59. Restriction on employment of a woman before 6 a.m. and beyond 7 p.m. Section 60 annual leaves. A worker having worked for a 240 days, 1 day for every 20 days, and for a child, 1 day for a working of a 15 days. A completion of a leave for a 30 days. Section 92 to 106 for a contravention of the provision of the act or a rules, imprisoned up to 2 years or a fine up to 1 lakh or a both. On a contribution of a contravention arrest 1000 per day. On a contravention of a chapter 4 pertaining to safety or a dangerous operation, not less than 25,000 in case of a death, not less than 500 in case of a serious injury, 5000 in case of a injuries. Subsequent contravention of a some provision, imprison up to 3 years or a fine not less than 10,000, which may extend to Rs 2 lakh. Contracting in inspector, imprisonment up to 6 months or a fine up to 10,000 or a both. The PPT is finished. Thank you.